Have you ever scrolled through your feed, seen someone showing off a new car, a luxury vacation, or the latest fashion drop, and suddenly felt like your life isn't enough? You're not imagining it. Social media isn't just showing you life, it's showing you someone else's life you're supposed to envy. And worse, it's locking many people into feeling poor, even when they aren't. Today, we're diving into how social media widens class divides, not just economically, but psychologically, and why that's by design. Let's start with the basic trick of social media. It flattens everything. In your feed, a billionaire's yacht selfie sits right next to your friend's graduation photo or your cousin's birthday post. But that proximity is fake. It gives the illusion that we're all part of the same social circle, except some people are playing a completely different game. This is called context collapse, when vastly different social and economic classes appear side by side, stripped of real-world distance. On TikTok, someone living paycheck to paycheck can scroll past a billionaire's mansion tour in seconds. But seeing isn't just seeing, it's feeling. And this daily exposure makes us compare ourselves upward. It's not just, I wish I had that. It becomes, why don't I have that? What did I do wrong? This is how social media quietly deepens the experience of class divides, not just by what we earn, but by what we're constantly reminded we lack. Then there's the other side. The influencers, creators, and everyday users who perform wealth to keep up. Social media rewards visibility, and nothing is more visible than wealth. In fact, flex culture, showing off what you have, or pretending you have more, is built into the algorithm. Want more likes? Show the shopping haul. Want engagement? Film the luxury vacation. Want brand deals? Make it look like you live in a penthouse, even if you rented it for an hour. This doesn't just distort reality, it pressures people to spend money they don't have, just to appear wealthier than they are. That's not just a personal problem, it's systemic. Because on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, the appearance of success becomes a currency of its own. And if you can't afford to play that game, you're pushed further into the shadows of the algorithm. It's not just that the rich look richer, it's that looking rich has become the ticket to opportunity and influence. And that reality shapes not just how others see us, but how we start to see ourselves. You might think algorithms are neutral, just showing us what we like, engage with, or find entertaining. But that's not the case. Social media algorithms don't just reflect preferences, they shape them. What do these algorithms prioritize? Content that triggers engagement, likes, shares, comments, watch time. More specifically, content that makes you feel, not just mildly interested, but emotionally provoked. And nothing triggers people more than envy, desire, or outrage. When the algorithm sees you pause, even for a second, on a mansion tour or a luxury shopping spree, you'll see more of it. Again and again. The more wealth, beauty, or status a post displays, the more the algorithm boosts it, because it has your attention. That cycle repeats. Those who have, or can fake, wealth get more visibility, followers, opportunities, influence, and eventually more wealth. That's the digital economy of visibility. Attention turns into influence. Influence turns into income. And income makes it easier to create content that algorithms love. Meanwhile, creators from working class backgrounds or those openly discussing poverty or inequality, they often fight upstream. Their content doesn't trigger envy or fantasy. It reminds people of real problems. It asks them to reflect, to critique. And the algorithm? It doesn't reward reflection. It rewards the scroll. But this isn't just about views or followers, it's psychological. When we're fed endless streams of curated wealth, we absorb a message. This is success. This is who wins. And if your life isn't a highlight reel, then maybe you're just not enough. Research shows that constant upward comparison fuels anxiety, depression, and feelings of inadequacy, especially in young users forming identities. Even people who are financially stable can feel like failures because the bar for success online is impossibly high. For working class users, the toll is heavier. You see wealth you can't reach every day from people your age, your city, your language. That gap feels permanent, like a ceiling you can't break. It feels personal, a judgment, like a mirror showing you what you're not. That's how social media reinforces the myth of meritocracy, the belief that if you're not winning, you didn't try hard enough. Because those on your screen, they're your age, they started with less. So what's your excuse? So where does that leave us? How do we push back against a system that's designed to keep us comparing, consuming, and chasing? First, we have to recognize the system for what it is. Social media isn't a mirror of real life. It's a marketplace of attention curated to keep you watching, scrolling, and engaging. Everything you see is filtered, edited, or staged, even the content that looks spontaneous. The algorithm doesn't care about what's real, it cares about what performs. And what performs? Content that sparks insecurity, desire, or controversy. Once you understand that, you begin to see the machine behind the content. You start noticing how your emotions are being manipulated, how envy is manufactured, how dissatisfaction is designed. This awareness doesn't eliminate the effect completely, but it gives you a layer of defense. You can pause and ask, why am I feeling this way right now? Who profits from this feeling? Because every time you feel less than, someone, somewhere, is making money off that emotion. And that brings us to the next step. Curate your inputs. Just like your physical environment shapes your mindset, your digital environment does too. Start by following creators who expose the realities of class, labor, and inequality. Find voices that challenge the status quo rather than glamorizing it. There are creators dedicated to financial transparency, to demystifying wealth, to showing the real behind the highlight reels. Follow them, support them. They won't flood your feed with fantasy, but they might flood it with truth. And while you're at it, mute or unfollow accounts that consistently trigger feelings of inadequacy. Because if you don't control your feed, someone else, usually an advertiser, will. But this isn't just about filtering content. It's about changing the way you measure yourself. What if your metrics weren't likes, views, or followers? What if they were things like, how often did I rest this week? How many meaningful conversations did I have? How present did I feel in my own life? These are metrics that no app will track for you. The algorithm may reward surface-level success, but you can choose to reward depth, honesty, and connection in your own life. That choice, it's harder, it's quieter, but it's yours. And that's the start of reclaiming perspective. Once you've reclaimed perspective, there's one more step. Redefining what success actually means to you. Because here's the thing, if you don't define success for yourself, someone else will do it for you. Maybe success is being able to log off without FOMO. You get to decide. And in making that decision, you start building a life that's sustainable, not performative. Because the goal isn't just to win the algorithm's game. The goal is to stop playing a game that was rigged from the start. That is something no platform, no influencer, no billionaire can take away from you.